the studio. Thank you for joining me tonight. So, hope everybody's been having a good week. Hold on a second. Gotta fix my light. It was a little wonky. Okay. So sorry I'm just a little bit late. Nobody's on yet, so I guess I'm good. Been trying to get things done. I took today off to kind of get things all completed and wrapped up, for not only what I'm doing tonight, but also for the class that I'm doing tomorrow. So tomorrow's class is the Mediterranean blooms. And so I got everything kind of prepped for that. We're going to do a little bit of watercoloring, some coloring with the blends. So I just, last night was a late night because I had to do the PDFs for both tonight and tomorrow. So that means pictures, the supply list, and all the dimensions and all that. So it was a late night. And then I got up this morning and had things to do. And can I say something? It is flipping hot out there. And the heat takes a lot out of you. So just saying. So what's going on? Well, today is August 16th. So today marks 47 years that Elvis left us. So if you are new here and you didn't know, um, I'm a huge Elvis fan. My mom was actually a huge Elvis fan as well. I grew up on Elvis, so that's why. So I have a little something when I flip the camera that you'll see that kind of like has found a place here in the studio. It's one of the reasons, when I thought about what name I was going to use for my business, I started out with Inspired Creations. Now that sounded good at the time. However, when I decided to start doing videos, the problem was there were like hundreds of channels that were inspired creations or inspired creations by, whoever. So I needed to change it. And of course, when I wanted to change it, I wanted something that kind of that it said Elvis and Memphis without saying Elvis and Memphis. So what is Memphis known for other than a crime? Did I just say that out loud? It's music. We have Beale Street, and of course we have Graceland, and Graceland's not far from me. I would say it's maybe about 20, 25 minutes for me. I used to live closer to it. I have been there a few times, and even the guest house, the big hotel that they built right next to it. So this week they're celebrating Elvis Week. And Elvis Week, I mean, I don't know what it's like today, but I know before the pandemic, yeah, you didn't want to go anywhere near down there because it was just wall to wall people. And so last night while I was working, on my PDFs, I found it kind of funny actually. Um, that while I was watching the live stream that they were doing for the candlelight vigil, but actually I was watching the replay of it. Yeah, almost through the whole thing, there was Elvis music playing, and all of a sudden I get this black screen that says that something about a policy violation thing. What policy violation were, I mean, if it was the Elvis music, I think the Graceland channel, the official Graceland YouTube channel would be allowed to play that. It was kind of weird. And I noticed that people had commented about it and all that. So, but I kind of refreshed it and it kept on going until the end. So, but yeah, so today marks 47 years that he left us. And a little tidbit of info, if you didn't know, My birthday is February 5th of 1968. Lisa Marie's birthday was February 1st of 1968. So I'm sure my mom was in her glory to find out, oh, she had a girl too, 4 days after Elvis had Lisa. So yeah, so I've always kind of found that I had like a little bit of a connection to her. And of course, when she passed away a couple of years ago, that yes, I was sad about that. So, of course, since, they did the memorial and since she's buried there along with her son, I haven't been back there yet. I find that going around Christmas time is like the best time because I love seeing all of that, the Christmas decorations and everything. So we'll see what happens this year. We'll see. I mean, it's nice that it's not far, so I can really go whenever I want. So I'm being make another trip. So let's see. Hello, Yvonne. Yeah, I mean, what's not to love about Elvis? I mean, all day today, and I'll tell you what, this is the reason why I have Sirius XM in my car. Plus, I got the apps where I can have it on the TV and all that because yeah, Elvis music because of the Elvis channel. I mean, come on, that's really the number one reason why I have it. So yeah, I've been listening to that, the whole day when I was out and I was in the car, that was playing when I came home. I turned on the TV and I had the music going. Of course, before I went and did this live, before I turned this on, I did have to go and change the channel on the TV. So right now, my assistant, Yvonne, aka Don Newberry here in the chat, guys. Yeah, I turned on the video, so she's watching me on a big screen TV. But anyway, so yeah, I would love to add Elvis music to my videos. However, yeah, I get slammed with a copyright thing, and then my video won't post. So yeah, kind of stinks. I would because I tried to do that. With Canva, we can, if you're subscribed to it, you do have, the music that you can use. However, that music that the actual artists are singing, yeah, you can't use over you, 8. Okay, Yvonne, Carla 8's a good boss. We'll blame the heat. We'll blame the heat for that. But anyway, um, yeah, so it kind of stinks. I would like to add Elvis music to my stuff, but I can't. Kind of stinks. So yeah, today was last night I got my PDFs and pictures and everything taken care of, for tonight and for tomorrow. And yeah, so today was just a matter of going and doing some shopping, getting some stuff for tomorrow. And so yeah, we're gonna be fed well tomorrow. We got some good snackage and all that, and I made some hummus. So, well, two kinds of hummus, the regular and the roasted red pepper. So that's yummy. Um, yeah, and then we're gonna have chicken salad and croissants. Yeah, I'm hungry too. I actually this morning I kind of got up late. I didn't even have my coffee. I didn't eat anything. I took my shower, left, came back here. I think it was like 3:30 or so. And yeah, I had my coffee late, so I hope it helps because I am kind of tired. But so if you see something different behind me, this past Sunday I had stopped into IKEA and I got myself the the insert, the 5 shelf insert here, and here's all of the current, DSP in here. My 6x6 is up there. I have more. I just haven't put it away. And then over here, over on this end, I have the one that just splits the cube in half. So yeah, those were easy peasy to put together and just slide in because part of me was like, I'm not going to screw these things in. Luckily, you don't have to screw these things in because yeah, I'm still paying for the, putting in all these drawers and putting it all together. Yeah, my wrist and my hand still hurts. So I think really there's nothing else more to say. I mean, I do have some show and tell for you. So I think last week I may have made mention that on Saturday, last Saturday, that we were working on some projects and kind of getting it done. So we were able to finish the one project. We had most of everything done. I just needed to get some basic white 12 by 12 cardstock, which I don't have 12 by 12. I don't do scrapbooking, so there's really never a need to get 12 by 12, but we did need 12 by 12 to finish that up, so we finished that up. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And then we also worked on another project. Now, this other project was actually something that was shown when we went to On Stage this past March in Houston. So the new suite of products, what is it? Thoughtful Journey or Thoughtful Wishes. I think it's Thoughtful Journey. Um, she had created a frame piece that was just really, really cool. And she had posted it on the Facebook group, for demonstrators. So I basically looked at that and I mimicked it. And the only thing that's different is I used a different piece of background paper on it, but it came out really, really cool. And so I'm going to show you that and I'll show you the other one. And yeah, so actually one of them, the first project that we had finished up was something that um, was it Rhonda Wade and Julie Salva. They had started up Creating for Christ. And so every month they have projects. So it may be cards, it could be a journal. This time it was a 10 by 10 sampler. And it came out really, really cool. And as a matter of fact, I got to make, and as I was making it, I'm like, oh, I really like this. And I'm actually going to make another one because come next month, my daughter's going to have her first apartment. So I thought this would be perfect for her, to have in her apartment. So other than that, let me kind of flip this down because there's really not much else that's going on. So I'll flip it down and you'll see what I have sitting on my table here, something that I'm kind of proud, something that I had made a long time ago, and it was only a few months ago that I finally put it in a frame. So let me flip this around. If you're someone who gets motion sickness, close your eyes and I'll let you know when you can open them up. So let me flip this and you're looking at my ceiling. This thing never flips right away. Oh, there it is. Now, of course, you're seeing all my lights here. So I'm going to kind of move those out of the way. And of course, there's a ring light. So this is kind of like this was my big project. A few years ago, I had put this together. I don't think I can bring this up any higher, but yeah, this whole big diamond painting is 17 and a half by 17 and a half inches. And I remember a few years ago, I think it was probably back in 2020. It took me, I want to say it took a couple of weeks to do this one. I found this one on Amazon. Now, at first, when I saw it, I thought it was just a poster print. And then when I actually looked at it, it was a diamond painting. The problem with it was that this was one of those items that gets shipped directly from China, and I am not a fan of doing that at all. So if I ever go to order anything off of Amazon, if it's saying that it's going to be a good number of weeks before you would get it, then you know it's coming straight from China. But the problem was when I did a search for this, none of the other sellers were selling it. And it was the only place I saw it. And I just thought this would be perfect. This is the younger Elvis. And I just like, it's all the black and white with the splash of color. So I thought this would be perfect in my crafting studio. So this, yeah, finally a couple of months ago, it finally made its way onto the wall of my studio. So I will now move this out of the way and try not to drop it because we don't want to do that. And that's just going to have to go back up on the wall when all is said and done. So let me go and bring this down and straighten things out. And we could pull this out some. It takes a little bit. I'm looking at my laptop just to make sure everything is kind of straightened out here. No, make sure it's straight. Make sure we're not too close. Okay, I think we're good. Maybe come up just a little tiny bit. Okay, so what I was mentioning before, let me grab those and let me show you those. So this was the Creating for Christ project. This it was a lot of Lost Lagoon and some pretty peacock and all these little die cuts, and the paper come from the Flowers and Frames pack of paper. So it's a specialty paper. You get 3 sheets of DSP, and then there's 3 sheets that have all of these die cuts in them. And these 3 images here, those are actually printables that they put together. And you have the option. You can purchase the kit where they'll pre-cut all the cardstock and stuff for you, and or there's the option that in the Facebook group they'll they'll have the PDF that has like all the dimensions and the directions to do this. So it was this frame piece, and then there were also 4 cards that we created as well. I thought this came out really, really cool. My living room is like a really pale aqua, so it's kind of like a pool party color, and so the colors in this just go with it so perfectly. So this is the one that I need to make another one of. I mean, it was very easy to do, and so yeah, I had fun putting it together. So the other project that we did, now this was the one that was kind of demonstrated. I mean, the person that created it, they didn't, actually put it together during the event. They just showed it, and we'll see how this looks with all the glare from the lights. Let me kind of see if I can move them out of the way. So this features like that thoughtful journey suite of product. And this specialty paper back here, they used the one that had what is it? The wild wheat and the mossy meadow. So it's a variegated type of pattern on here. So I decided to go ahead and use this color. There was like a purplish color too, and then of course then there's the pretty peacock. So I decided to go with the pretty peacock color one. The sample that she did it in with the mossy meadow and the wild wheat one. But yeah, so on this I basically looked at the picture. She didn't really have any dimensions on anything. And so I had she did mention when someone asked, what was like the size of these squares. And she said overall they're 4x4. So yeah, that wild wheat is 4x4. And then I just kind of came in on the sizes on the DSP and then just basically looked at what she used, and everything from this is in that suite. So the frames, the gold frames, I got those off of Amazon, and I just think this came out really, really cool. So this graces the wall inside of this studio as well. Okay, so that's about it with the show and tell. Let me bring in some of the info. We'll move my lights now, so now I'm not worried about it glaring off of anything. So, what's going on? So back in July, you earned your $5 coupon codes for every $50 that you spent. And now for the month of August, you can now redeem those coupons. Those coupon codes would have came in an email. You would have gotten it just not long after you had placed your order. And so now you can redeem it, and you have until August 31st to do that. Um, that back to that, what was it, that tax-free holiday thing that was going on. I looked at the whole calendar and everything, so that's completely done now. I think the last day on most of all those states were like on the 11th or whatever, so that's done. But what's still going on is the 15% off the designer series paper sale. This is DSP that's in our current annual catalog. So none of this paper is in the online exclusives, nor is it in the new holiday mini catalog that's going to go live to customers on September 4th. And I kind of misspoke last Friday when I said that it was all the paper. It's not all the paper, because the 6x6 color collection packs of paper are not in here. So these are just the paper packs, the DSP packs that are on sale. So it's the Bright and Beautiful, Countryside Inn, Country Lace, Country Woods, Full of Life, Lily Pond Lane, Mediterranean Blooms. That's what I use for tomorrow's class. And I am going to use this suite for a Friday Night Live, and I'm going to do that on the first Friday in September. And then you got Perennial Lavender, Take to the Sky, Thoughtful Journey. That's the paper that I used in that one frame piece. To Market, Unbounded Beauty. This suite here is, this will be next, no, this isn't next Friday. Next Friday is going to be the sparkling, Simply Sparkling bundle. That's the bundle that is with the sparkling water that's in the online exclusives. That's going to be next Friday. But then the last Friday for this month, I'm going to do the whole Unbounded Beauty suite of products. And then you got Wildly Flowering and Winter Meadow. And I think Winter Meadow at the moment is on back order, but it's supposed to, I think if I remember right, I thought I saw that it was coming back the week of August 26th. Now, in the online exclusives, also there's our kits collection. Last week, I showed you my pre-order that I got out of this catalog. I do have the paper catalogs now. This particular kit right here, the Haunted Home Kit, I do want to make mention that it's currently unavailable. It did go on back order. Now, the kits collection is just like the online exclusives. We never know, will they come back, or once they're gone, are they gone? But if you see anything in the online exclusives or in the kits, and if it says currently unavailable, that means it's going to come back. I just don't know when exactly this is coming back, but I'm going to keep an eye out on it, because I do want to order another kit, because my daughter does want to put one of these together. So I want to get another one for her. So if you see something and it disappears altogether and you don't see it at all, that means it's not going to come back. It's gone for good. So if you were interested in that haunted home kit, it will be back. I just don't know when exactly it will. Now, again, last Friday, if you had missed it, I did do I did show my pre-order, so like all the suites, the bundles, the individual items. I even showed all the paper. So if you weren't here last Friday to see it, you can go back to that live, and I did that near the end of the video. So, like I mentioned before, if you are not working with another demonstrator and you would like a paper copy of this catalog or even the current annual catalog, simply send me an email. The email is down below in the description of this video, and just provide your name and your mailing address and let me know which catalog you want or if you want both of them, and I'll get it out to you. Now, I can't show you the inside of this catalog. This catalog will start on September 4th and it'll go through January 6th of next year. So I finally did get the paper copies. These are the ones that I ordered that I think showed up on Sunday, I think. Um, yeah, I still haven't gotten my actual paper copy that Stampin' Up! Sends out to all the demonstrators, but I did get I did get my order of my catalog, so if you need one, let me know. Okay, so with that, we're about ready to get started here. Let me get some water. Yeah, Vaughn, I'm hungry too. I did break down like at 4 o'clock. I had a banana nut muffin and my coffee because I didn't eat anything all day. So, okay. So, excuse me. So tonight we are I think this is perfect. It's hot out, right? So we are going to be using the perfect bundle for a hot day like it is down here in the South. Yeah, our temperature was I think like 99, but the heat index was like 103 to 110 or something like that. So yeah, it's hot. I don't like the summer. I'm looking forward to you know, for fall because that's my favorite season. So okay, so this is the bundle that we're going to be using tonight. And so one of the cards is kind of like I would say is kind of like a fun fold. And another card that we're doing is, I don't want to say it's a fun fold, but we're utilizing the dies in it. So let me bring in all the pieces to that. So in this set of dies, there is a stamped image of the ice cream cone, and then you have an image of the ice cream itself. Now these stamps, they're not small; they're pretty big. So you can see they're a nice size. Now with this, with the cone part itself, there is also a die in here that you can actually cut the whole cone out. And then in the center here, it does have this piece here in the center, it doesn't cut, but what it does do, it puts a score line. And so you have this actual big piece here that you can fold in half. So you can make this as a card, you can make it as a tag. So it's pretty cool. So for this project, I have basically it's just scraps. So there's a piece of the pecan pie that I die cut this cone out, and then at a basic white, I die cut the outer piece of the of the ice cream. That's the one that will die cut this image out. And then there's another die in there that's more of a detailed, and this one will lay right on top of it like so. Then out of another scrap of white, I had die cut this circle, and we're going to stamp our greeting on it. And that die comes from the Unbounded Love set of dies. Now, this set of dies bundles with a stamp set that has just greetings on it. It's part of that whole Unbounded Beauty mega suite of product, because there is another stamp set with flowers, and then there's coordinating dies that will die cut those. So we're going to be using it's this one right here that I die cut. And actually, some of these dies I'm also using for my class tomorrow. And then this die here, we're going to use this one too. But I'm going to show you how you can cut this to where it's smaller. So instead of the full length of it, we're going to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to show you that little trick. So went ahead, die cut that ahead of time. And then out of another little scrap, I stamped the cherry using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I already die cut it. So we're going to color this in with our blends. And the colors that I'm using for that, first for my stem, I have the Early Espresso. This is the Stampin' Right marker. Now these markers, they're not sold individually, just the basic black one is. This is in the neutrals pack of the Stampin' Right markers. And then I'm going to color my cherry in using the dark, and let's see, that's the dark and light real red, and then this is the light cherry cobbler. So this is going to go together very, very easily, very simple. So I'm going to take the cone and I'm going to line that up, and then I'm going to fold it in half. And like I said, with this, you can make this as just a little card, or you can make it as a tag. And then, of course, you can get a little piece of cardstock that you can put on the inside part here, or if you use a light enough colored cardstock, you can just write straight in it. Hello, Terry. How you doing, girlfriend? So since you just came on, I was talking a little bit about tomorrow and the class that I'm going to be doing with the Mediterranean blooms. So, girlfriend, I have you set up here. So the projects we're making tomorrow, I have another kit all set aside for you. So I'll get that out to you really soon. You're making pizza or pizza? Yum. We're cheating. We're having, in Aldi's, they had a flatbread, and it was a taco flatbread. So, yeah. Terry, just to make sure, because I asked Yvonne last night, just to make sure, do you have these dies, these Unbounded Love dies? The reason why I asked, there are some of the sentiments that we're doing in the class. I figured, we'd stamp the greeting first and then die cut it. And I need to know if whether or not I need to die cut some of those labels out for you, or if you already have them. So this is part of a whole big mega suite. And this set of dies coordinated with a stamp set that's got all the greetings in it. So if you do have it, then I'll just have those scraps of the basic white cardstock in there so you can stamp and die cut. If you don't have it, then I will die cut a couple of the pieces for you. Okay, so just let me know. Yvonne did look. Okay, so yeah, okay, just to confirm you do have it. Yeah, because she did go and check and she said, yeah, it looked like that you did order it. So, okay, good. Your embellishments and everything are in there. So, yeah, I hooked you up, girlfriend. Hooked you up. Okay, so I folded this in half. Then I'm going to take these pieces here. And it looks like I got something on this cardstock. And I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. Now this is the combo multi-purpose glue that comes in that green bottle. So let me show you. It's this glue right here. And I just put it in a fine tip glue bottle that I got a package of, I think like 10 of them from Amazon. With this glue, it's got a latex in it, so you don't need much of it at all, and it sticks really well. So I decided to put it in a fine tip glue bottle because again, you don't need much. So let me bring this in, put that down, make sure I got the right side up. And then I'm going to add some glue on these bigger pieces. I'm not going to worry about those little itty bitty strips of pieces because that's just insane. Now I could have also used the adhesive sheets, but I find that using those, sometimes it's a lot of work to use those adhesive sheets. I mean, I know it's a lot cleaner. You don't have glue all over the place, but yeah, they could be a pain. I mean, you still get the glue on your fingers, when you're die cutting the pieces out. Okay. All right, so we got that glued, and then I'm going to take the piece here, the cone part, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue up on this very top part. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to place that there like so, and we'll press that down. Okay, and then they're all popped up. Okay, all right, so I'm going to set that aside. Now, let's see, for my little greeting here, I am going to use the greeting that says yum yum, and I'm going to stamp that in pretty in pink. And let's get a block, that there, and then reach into my bin here with all of my supplies and everything that I'm using. Okay, so let's ink this up. I'll stamp that right in the middle. Okay. And again, out of another scrap, I did stamp this cherry image using the Memento Tuxedo black ink. So for the Stampin' Right marker, I am going to use that to color in the stem. I mean, the area is like really small, so. And then I'm going to use my light cherry cobbler and my light and dark real red. So I'm going to add some of my shadow first. The light cherry cobbler, when I'm using it, I don't know, to me it looks almost like a dark pink, but it is red. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the dark. And I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to come in with the light, and I'm going to fill this in. Like so. Okay, put that aside. So now I'm going to take that cherry and I'm going to pop it up. I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And, okay, stick. Just want the paper off of it. I don't want to take the whole dimensional off. And then I'm going to stick this right over here. And then I'm going to do a little bit, well, let me put this on first. Put my two dimensionals right here. And then I'm going to take my Yum Yum and I'm going to put that right there. And then we're going to do a little bit of blitzing it up. So I have, for my embellishments, I have these are the adhesive back shiny sequins. These are an online exclusive. These go with the Simply Zinnia suite of products. And I'm going to use, so I wrote down, so on the packaging of the embellishments, they don't list the colors that are in it. And if you look in the catalog, it doesn't show it there either. But if you go online and you look it up, it will give you the colors that are in there. So these are lemon lime twist, lemon lolly, melon mambo, and pumpkin. That's pumpkin pie. So I'm going to use these melon mambo ones for my ice cream. So it's going to kind of be our sprinkles. So I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool, and I'm going to grab a few of these. And I'm going to place these on here like so. And then I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella because, you know, we have to wink some stuff up, right? And I'm going to add some onto this cherry. Okay. So there we go. There is the first project. So, like I said, you can put a hole like up here with a hole punch, and it can be a tag for like a gift bag or for a package, or you can open up. You can put in like maybe a little piece of cardstock, or if your cardstock's light enough, you can stamp a little greeting in there, or you can just write. You can just write inside of there. So I wouldn't say that this is really like a fun fold, but this is basically utilizing the dies that are in this bundle. So there is our first project. So now let me clean this stamp and we will get the stuff that we need for our next project. So this one here is it's for me, it's a little hard to determine if something would be considered a fun fold or not. This one, I don't know. It's kind of, sorta, I guess. I guess you'll see when I get that. So on this one, we're going to utilize these stamps here. So I'm going to bring out the cone piece, and then this big ice cream topper. And then the stamp that says Make a Wish. Okay. And then let me get the blocks for these. Let's see. Nope, that's not going to fit. So we're going to need this one. And then this one, I'm going to have to pull that in to stamp that because I don't have another block this size. I do need to get one though. Okay, and then I put that Make-A-Wish on there. Okay, so let me bring in all of the pieces that we need for this one. Whoops. Okay, so for this one has a lot of the pastel colors in this one. So for my card base, I have a piece of Pool Party. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. I have scored this at 4.25 and also at 1 1/4. Then I have a scrap of Pretty in Pink, Crumb Cake, and then this DSP, this is out of the Subtles 6x6 pack of paper. So you get 4 sheets each of the colors that are in the Subtle collection. So you have Balmy Blue, Bubble Bath, Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Lemon Lolly, Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Soft Sea Foam. So it's all the same patterns, just different colors. So I'm using 2 pieces out of here. I'm using the Pool Party and the Lemon Lolly. And the sizes for that, so the Pool Party one, this one measures 5.5 by 1.5. And then this Lemon Lolly pattern one is 5.5 by 1 3/4. So let me start off with stamping my images. Now because I guess I'm good because this is a silicone mat that's under here, so I don't think I need any foam pads or anything underneath it. So if you find that your photopolymer stamps don't stamp well, it's because they don't have a cushion on them like the red rubber has the foam. So to get a better image, if you can use one of these, this is the Stampin' Pearson mat. So that's a foam, so you can stamp on that. And actually, since I got it out, now I could take this out of the plastic, but for some reason I just keep it in the plastic and I just stamp right on it. So I'm going to open up my Crumb Cake ink and I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp that right there. Okay. And I'll take that off. And then I'm going to clean this because I'm going to need that block. So for this, I'm going to die cut it. So that big die that I showed you, what did I do with it? It's right here. So I'm going to die cut this. So I'm only cutting the half piece of that. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to die cut that. Usually I do the die cutting ahead of time, but because these needed to get stamped first, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put out this little disclaimer up front that yes, I do have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. However, I also have an electronic die cutter, which is a bit easy. It's easier on my hand and my wrist. So I'm going to cheat and I'm going to be using that to die cut my pieces out. I find it goes a little bit faster too. Okay, so we're done with that. And then I'm going to put my ice cream on this and my Pretty in Pink scrap. And I'm going to bring in my Pretty in Pink ink. And I'm going to ink this up. Now my Pretty in Pink ink is pretty inky. And I'm going to stamp that right there. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp the Make-A-Wish, but I'm going to stamp that after I kind of put this card together and I put my DSP on there because I will be stamping my greeting on this piece of DSP. Okay, so on this, I'm also going to do some coloring. Now, you can use your blends on colored cardstock as well. So I'm going to bring in my light, pretty in pink. And for this, let me get a piece of scrap paper because it will bleed a little bit through this, but it won't be too bad. I'm not going really hard. I'm not doing a lot of blending. So on some of these little sections, I'm going to color them in. And again, I'm going kind of light with my touch on with these markers. They are alcohol markers, so they will bleed through. And then let's see, we got this one here. Okay, and then this one. Now part of this ice cream topper part is going to overhang on the front of the card, so you'll see a little bit of this coloring on the back of it. So it's one of the reasons why I'm kind of going light, so I can kind of minimize it seems like if you color with these things on the colored cardstock, it's a little more porous than say using the basic white. So it will kind of bleed through a little bit. Okay, so now let me move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in my my mat. Now I cut into my magnetic mat. This is the Anna Griffin Empress, and I've been cutting into this magnetic plate. Now you can see that I've used this quite a bit, and the one thing that I find interesting with this, if you look at it, these plates aren't all warped. Yet the plates that we have for our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, they tend to warp. Now we used to have magnetic sheets, magnetic plates or whatever for it, and I think out of two separate different types of magnetic plates, they just couldn't get them right. They were the first one warped really bad, and then the second one they had the magnetic plate and it was on a steel backing, and after a while people were having issues where it was actually starting to come unglued. So right as of right now, we don't have any magnetic plates for our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm going to step over here, and you'll probably hear this thing running because this time I do have my microphone on, as opposed to last Friday I decided to try without it, but I know if I step away from my phone then you wouldn't hear me as well. So okay, so there is the cone piece. We'll set that aside. And then for my ice cream topper part, there's a die in here. This one right here. That will cut this out. And what's nice about that, these stamped images, like for this ice cream, it's not small. It's a really nice large size. Okay. I've cut into this magnetic plate a lot, so I actually just ordered um, 2 new ones because after a while, I think with all the cutting into it, the dies don't stick to it as well as they did in the very beginning. Sometimes they shift just a little bit, so I have to watch what I'm doing before I run it through. Okay, so let me put this aside. We're done with the die cutting for this, and I think we're done with the die cutting altogether. Okay, so now let me bring in my card base. So I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to burnish this. And then this piece here where I scored it at 1 1/4, I am going to fold that back, and I'm going to burnish that. Then for this, I'm going to take the piece, this pattern here of the pool party in white, that's the other side. I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm going to add some along the edges of this. This is going to line up with the top and bottom edge. So there's no border. That's the word I want. And I'm going to take this. I'm going to line this up. Make sure I got it lined up from this side. Okay. And then press that down. Now I could have used my Stampin' Seal, but I find that when I'm putting a whole piece that's going to be the whole length of the card, I find a lot of times I stick it down and then it won't line up. And then of course at that point, try taking it off without destroying it. And so I find that the liquid glue works much better on, placing pieces like that down. Okay, so then on this lemon lolly, now lemon lolly is a really bright, light yellow. So it's hard to see what the pattern is. So this is the lemon lolly with white circles on it. And then this side has a really cool pattern. Let me show. This is the pattern. This I think is the petal pink color, but this is the pattern of that lemon lolly. So it's kind of subtle, so it's kind of hard to see. All you see is like this really bright yellow. So again, I'm going to take my glue because this is going to go the whole length of the card. I'm going to add some along all the edges. Okay, and then this piece is going to line up on this other end over here. I want to make sure it's lined up. Okay, press that down. Okay, and then this piece here, we're going to glue that down. So I'm going to take my glue. And take that, and I want to fold that over and press that down. I was going to say, what was that, Terry? You're not dying? Is that what that said? Yeah, that ice cream is huge. I actually have a Ninja Creamy Deluxe. So I actually, was it yesterday? I think it was. I made some containers of ice cream that you make the base and then you stick it in the freezer for 24 hours, and then you put it through the machine to mix it all up, and then you can add like whatever mix-ins that you want. So I have a couple of containers of different ice creams, one being coffee, vanilla, maple, and I have a couple of containers where I made lemonade Italian ice as well. I thought that would be perfect, since tomorrow's class is going to be all about lemons and oranges and all that. So we're having a lot of lemon tomorrow. Okay, so there is my card base. So again, I don't know if you would call that a fun fold or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in this this Stampin' Pierce mat again, and I'm going to bring in the Crumb Cake ink. Okay, this one being fussy. Okay, so then I'm going to ink this up in my Crumb Cake, and I'm going to stamp this right down here. Thank you, Terry. I will tell you, a lot of inspiration does come off of Pinterest. I kind of look at what other people are doing, and I try not to copy completely. And the reason why is, again, this is a current, set. So if they had just recently had done that, I don't want to be copying, exactly what they did. I like to change it up a little bit. And that's what I did with this one. I changed up the colors in which I used on this and just kind of lined it up a little bit differently. Okay, so there is the card. And now I'm going to take my pieces here. Now I'm going to place this on here, and part of it's going to overhang. So when I put my adhesive on this, I don't want to put it on that piece that's going to overhang, because we don't want to glue our card shut. And then I want to take this to kind of lay it on top, because I want to make sure that it's not going to go up above that top part of my card. Okay, so I'm going to put my hand like right in this area here, and then that way I know not to put any glue in that area. So of course now it's like your hand's all twisted. Okay, so I'm going to put glue there, and then I'm going to place this down. I'm going to kind of line this up to where it's in the middle. Kind of get it straight and press that down. Okay, and then on this one, on this piece, this is going to get popped up. So again, I don't want any of my dimensionals on this side here. So I'm going to kind of put my hand right in this spot here, knowing that I'm not putting any dimensionals on this part here. I'll add a few of these. Okay, and then I'll remove this. Okay, and then this is going to go right on top, like so. And then you can see a little bit where that blend kind of bled through, but it's not too bad. And there's no adhesive showing, so it's not going to stick here. Now, in this area here, if you're using a light colored cardstock, you could stamp your greeting right in here, or you can just write your greeting in. Or if you were using a dark piece of cardstock, you can put, like, say, a basic white piece in here to write whatever you want to write. Okay, then I want to bring in these embellishments again. Now, when I looked up, now this color here, I actually thought that this was like maybe peach pie, but I was kind of surprised that it said it was pumpkin pie. And I thought this color would look good on this, to kind of tying in the yellow and the pink. Because if you look at it with the iridescent, it kind of got that yellow, orangey, and pink in it. So I thought this would work well on this one. So for this, I'm going to use these larger sequins. So I'm going to add one there, one over here, and then one more right up here. Okay, and then on this one, we have to wink it. So I'm going to bring in my Wink Estella, and I'm going to add some on here. Now, when I put this on here, you can kind of see those brush marks, but when this dries, that will kind of disappear, and you'll see all the sparkle from this. Okay, so there we go. There's our second card. So this would be a really fun, quick birthday card for somebody. Okay, so there's our second card. Let me now get all the pieces for our last card. Now our last card has some coloring to it. Now this one is the one that's going to have that where I'm going to use that die, and I'm going to show you how you can alter that size of that die. And of course, all my little itty bitty pieces all came out of my envelope. Wasn't supposed to do that. Okay. Now, I cleaned those. Now on this one too, we're going to be doing some heat embossing as well. I didn't do that in advance, so we're going to be doing all that live. That. Of course, am I doing? Yeah, okay. I thought I had the cover piece on there. All right. I think I got all that. Oops, I got the cone part. Actually, I'm going to need this cone part. Going to need that. So we're going to kind of show the versatility with this set here. So I'm going to use the greeting that says, "Hope your day is sweet." Okay, put that on my block. Okay. So in advance, well, let me bring in all the pieces, because this one has a lot of little pieces to it. So I have a card base. This is basic white thick and measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Then I have another piece of basic white. This measures 5 by 3.75. And ahead of time, sorry for all the noise. I'm kind of digging in my tray here. I embossed it with the Painted Texture 3D embossing folder. We've actually had this embossing folder for a while, and I believe you will find this in the online exclusives. I don't think it's actually in the catalog. So I went ahead and I embossed that ahead of time. And then I have some scraps of Lemon Lime Twist, Coastal Cabana, and then this piece of Berry Burst. This measures 5 inches by 1. And then out of a scrap of basic white, I went and I stamped these images. in the Memento Tuxedo black ink. So I stamped these already, and then I also went ahead and die cut them. So I have donuts. I guess those are churros, I think, or they can be a straw, one of the two. There's a strawberry and then two cherries. Okay, so let me, and I forgot to pull out a stamp. So there's this one stamp here that has like these sprinkles on it. I'm going to pull that out. Forgot to pull that one out. And I'm going to put that on a block. And then I am going to bring in that very burst ink. And I'm going to grab that scrap paper again. And I'm going to randomly stamp this image on this strip. And I'm going to flip my stamp as I stamp across this. Oh, you do have this bundle? Yeah, this bundle, it came out in, I think it was our January to May or June catalog. And they did carry it over into this annual catalog. So I didn't get this until I think after that catalog, that mini catalog had ended. So kind of a little late to the party. I tend to be a little late on getting some of these things because ultimately you can't get everything right away. So there's our piece of our very first. Okay, and then let's see. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. And I'm going to add this to the base. Make sure it's lined up. And there's a glue goober. Okay. Press that down. Do you have this bundle, Yvonne? Okay, let's close this up. Okay, so then I'm going to take this. Well, let's first go and fold and burnish our card base because we can take that piece and we can put that on our card base. I can see that my screen looks like it's pixelating. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't like when it does that. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more of my dimensionals on this piece since it is a larger piece and I want it to stick well and I don't want it to sag in the middle either. Okay, now I see that there's a little bit of very burst showing. So I'm going to flip this. I'm going to trim that. I'm going to try to trim it. A little sliver. And so this month, since for my class, all my class attendees are going to get a lemon scissor fob. So I had gotten these lemon charms. also for the month of August, if you place an order with me. And also a little plug that if you like the projects that I made and you would like the free card kit, so I cannot stamp the images for you, so you would need the stamp and the set of dies. Some of the special type of dies, like the label dies and all that, I will die cut that for you. So with any order, so to get the free card kit, it's a minimum $35 order. And you place the order by Wednesday by midnight, the 21st, and I will send the card kit out to you along with one of these lemon charms and also a thank you card. Oh, and Terry, you'll have one of these too since I'm sending you the class. So everybody that's coming to the class will get one. So you're going to get one too. I'm going to take all these backings off. Uh-oh. I'm inspiring Yvonne. Look out. She's going to be making lots of cards. Okay, but you know what? You can always use birthday cards. Okay, so then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to center this on my card base like so. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that aside. And actually, I'm going to get a drink of water because I don't know. I got the fan over here blowing on me and I'm feeling just a little bit congested. Harry, you don't have to pay for the card kit. What, are you talking about this card kit? The projects I'm making tonight, or are you talking about the class for tomorrow? Okay. Now, what's next? Okay, so this piece of Coastal Cabana. Let me bring in my scrap piece of paper here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my Coastal Cabana ink. Okay, so then what I'm going to do on this stamp with the cone on it, I'm going to concentrate on just getting this top part of the cone and not the bottom part here. We're actually going to make like a little a bowl rather than doing a whole cone. So I'm just going to ink this top part here. I'm going to stamp that. Okay. And then this stamp here, again, this I guess could be like a churro, it could be a straw. I guess it all depends on how you color it in. So I'm going to bring that stamp in and I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to stamp this twice. So let me get a block. And then stamp this twice. All right. Okay, so now, so for this part, I could use the die to cut that. However, we're going to do my least favorite thing, and that's fussy cutting. So I am going to cut this lattice part of the cone off, and then I'm just going to cut around And I'm cutting just outside that line. And I can tell you this does not feel good at all. It hurts. So I am taking my time now with this piece, so I can just cut that in one solid piece. I am going to bring in a bigger pair of scissors that have longer blades on it, and I am just going to cut straight across. Put those aside. Okay, so I have a little dish, and then I'm going to cut these out. It's awkward sometimes cutting this because I am a lefty. And actually, I don't know if you knew this or not, but earlier this week, I forget which day it was International Left-Handers Day. Yay, we got a holiday. Okay, and now I want to do this one over here. So this is actually going to be the top of our dish. Is going to be that decorative element. Okay, trim that. And then these pieces here, I don't need them so wide. Okay, so there's one. And then this one, I'm going to kind of cut that in. We're going to glue these two pieces together. Or it could even be a candle too. There's a lot of different possibilities with that stamp on what you can do with it. All right, so now we're going to take these pieces here, and I'm going to kind of take, well, one of them needs to get cut. You don't need the little tabby thing on it. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. So on this, for shame, Yvonne. You okay? I don't know if there's a difference at all between right and left handed scissors. These are the Stampin' Up paper snips, and they don't give you an option on left or right. It's just um, the way it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two and I'm going to glue these together like so. I'm going to bring in this. I'm going to add a little bit of glue. And I'm going to line this up with it just to make this piece a little bit longer. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of glue right along this top edge. Even though I use scissors with a longer blade, I could still see that I cut that crooked. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to lay this right over the top. So I just want a little bit hanging off, like so. I'm just going to press that down. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of trim this down right here, and I'm just going to follow that line. Now kind of curve it a little bit, and there we go. I could actually trim this just a little bit. Okay, so there is our bowl. So that will go on there. Okay. Now there is no more fussy cutting for this card. That was it. Okay, so then let me go ahead and color these pieces in. So these are going to be our churros. So to color this in, I am going to use my light and dark crumb cake. And I'm going to do my dark parts first. Okay. All right, so I'm going to kind of set that aside. So then my donuts. On these, I'm going to add some dark. And then I'll come back in after I color all my pieces that are going to have the crumb cake with the dark. I'm then going to come back in and I'm going to color the rest of these areas with the light. Okay. Okay, let's see. I think that's all we need to color in with that one. And then let me get my light. And actually, I think my light crumb cake, I think it's on its way out. Okay, that's done. Now, when you're using these Stampin' Blends, if you find that they start to squeak, which it is squeaking a little bit, that means that it's on its way out. It's drying up. But I do have another set of crumb cake. Crumb cake's one of those colors that is used a lot. Okay, set that one aside. Yeah, it's squeaking, but I'll have enough to finish my projects here. I guess these can be donuts or they can be cookies. Well, wait, there's a hole in the middle of it. So it's a donut. Oh yeah, it's squeaky. Got one little area to do. Okay. All right. Then I have my light and dark lemon lolly. So that's going to be the icing on one of our donuts. And then I have a light and dark pool party. That's going to be our other donut. And then I have the light and dark pretty in pink. So just like what I did with the crumb cake, I'm going to take the dark and kind of do that outer edge with the dark and then come in with the light. Okay, so that donut is done. And then we got pool party. And I'm using the brush tip on this. Typically I use the bullet tip of my blends. And sometimes it's like, okay, I'll use the brush. But when you use it, you don't want to go straight down on the tip or you will end up damaging it. Okay, set that one aside. And then I'm pretty in pink. It's pretty in pink. It almost looks like Flirty Flamingo to me, but it is pretty in pink. Okay, so there are our donuts. Now for the strawberry, I am going to use for the green topper, I'm going to use lemon lime twist. So I got the dark, and I'm just going to use that on the base of those leaves, and then bring in the light and kind of fill the rest of it in. Okay, and then for the strawberry itself, I'm going to use the light and dark melon mambo. Go around the edge. And take the light and fill it in. No, and Mambo's a perfect color for a strawberry. Okay, then we have the cherries, and we're going to color these in the same way we colored in the one from our first card. So I'm going to do these stems in my early espresso Stampin' Right marker. And then I'm going to bring in my light cherry cobbler, kind of do my shadow areas. Oops, got another one. Kind of went outside the edge just a little bit. Typically, I would stamp and color these first and then die cut them, but because I was doing the video, I decided to stamp them and then cut them out and color them to save a little bit of time. Okay. Yeah, with this, the thing is when the tip starts to fray a little bit, it's yeah, it doesn't get those little teeny tiny areas as well anymore. Okay, and then the light real red. I'm going to fill the rest of that in like so. Okay, so all of that is colored. So now let me put those aside. Okay, so now this is where I need to turn my fan off because this is not going to work very well if I leave that on. Not for this part anyway. So for this piece of lemon lime twist, I am going to bring in my Stampin' Cutting and not my Stampin' Cutting Emboss machine. No. My embossing additions toolkit. Two totally different things. So I'm going to be using the white embossing powder. Let me close up my glue. Okay, so for this piece, I am going to take my embossing buddy and I'm going to put some of this on my cardstock. This is going to get like any of that static or the oils from my fingers off of there so I don't have powder sticking where I don't want it. And then, now with this embossing toolkit, you get, so let me kind of take all this other stuff out. So you get the tray, you get a brush, you get the embossing buddy, and then you get these reverse locking tweezers. So in addition to this, I find that my embossing powder, I like to put them in these little Sistema snap closed containers. And then I use a little, this is a little plastic hors d'oeuvre spoon that I got from a dollar store. And then of course I have a piece of, what is this? I think like of a Swiffer cloth. So if this was a dark piece of cardstock, after I do my embossing, I can put this on there to get some of that uh, embossing powder off of there. And then this is a Versamark stamp pad just in a cube form. I found that off of, where did I find that? Yeah, Tailored Expressions. That's it. Final story. That's where I got it from. It's when every year I order calendars, the tear-off calendars that I make for all my coworkers. This is a dirty pad. I need a new one. But I think the Versamark pads, I think they are currently on back order. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to stamp this right in the middle. Okay. And then bring in my embossing powder and my little spoon. Now I would have done this in advance too, but I wanted to show you how I die cut this. So the die that I'm using, it's much bigger than what my greeting is. And if I would have just cut it out with that, it would have been too big for my where I'm placing this. So I'm going to cut that down smaller, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, so let me close this up. Let me get these things out of the way. And I have my heat tool over here. Now, it's weird sometimes when you use something loud, you may hear it on the video, and sometimes you don't. So I'm warming up my heat tool, and I'm going to come from behind it. I find when I do it this way, it won't blow any of the powder if I do it from the top. It's around. And then once it's kind of melted and I see that it's shining, I'll come from the top. Okay, that looks good. This is the Wow embossing powders. Um, I find that these work really, really well. They do have a nice lift on them and a nice shine, so they work really, really well. So let me just cool that down a little bit before I die cut it. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my, again, I'm not using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine on this. Now, for this, I am going to use a die out of the Unbounded Love set of dies. And I'm going to use this one right here. So again, like I said, this is much bigger than I need it to be. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this and I'm going to line this up, but I'm going to have my greeting more over to the left. So when you do this, you can either have the one edge closer on the left or on the right. It doesn't matter which one you do first. So I'm going to kind of line this up. And again, like I said, I'm going to have my greeting more over to the left. And I'm going to go and die cut this. Seeing that this is what I was saying, that sometimes when I put the top plate on, my die wants to move. And I think that's because I've cut so much into this magnetic plate. Okay, so now I'm going to go and die cut this. Tell you what, this thing is the best investment that I've gotten in a long time. Okay, so now I've die cut this. So now I want to make this a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take my die and I'm going to line this up like this. Now I want to line it up so then this way it's in the track, and if I kind of move it a little bit, it'll kind of catch. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Okay. Well, I look at the screen on my laptop. It don't look green. It looks yellow. And then I'm going to run this through again. Okay. And now we have made this smaller. So now it's not as big, and there's the excess piece. Okay, so now let me get this out of the way, and now we're ready to assemble this card. I'm sure that we have been going for a while here, so yeah, an hour and 46 minutes, almost 2 hours. Yeah, that's a long time. Okay, so now for this, I am going to be doing some gluing because these pieces here need to kind of look like they're sticking out of the back of this. So I'm going to bring in my liquid glue and I'm going to add some to the back here. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of my cherries and I'm going to add that right here. And I just stuck my finger in the glue. Okay, and then I'm going to take, where's my other cherry? And I'm going to take this one, add this here. Okay, no stick. And when I got glue all over my fingers, it don't help. Of course, this is where I got glue all over my fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to add, let's see, I'm going to add a yellow donut. Turn it this way. Stick that down. Now I'm going to be putting dimensionals on the back of this. So even though some spots on here aren't getting glued, it'll all stay together once I put the dimensionals on top of it. Okay. Then on this end, I'm going to take my strawberry and I'm going to add that right here. So I'm going to kind of tuck that in front of my donut. Okay. And then I'm going to take one of these churros. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back of this. And then this one is going to go out like that. Press that down. And then back behind here, we're going to add a lot of glue. And then my other donut. So we're just filling this up with a lot of treats. What is it that you're talking about when you use the brush, Terry? I think you posted that. Was it just after I die cut this piece here? Okay, and then I'm going to take this other one, add some glue to this. Oh, okay. I was going to say I'm missing, I still have another donut there. Okay, and then all of this is going to get popped up. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals and I'm going to place these where these pieces overlap. So it kind of holds it all together. The dimensionals. So let me take all these backings off. We're almost done. We're at the point of assembling all this now. Okay, so then let me bring in my card base. This is going to go, first we got a glue goober on there. Okay, and then I'm going to stick this right over here. Okay, and then I got this other donut here, so I'm going to put one dimensional right there. And then I'm going to stick this down. It's not in the right spot because looking through the hole and I'm tearing my cardstock. Let's try this again. Okay. This is going to go right over here, like so. And then this piece here, my greeting, I'm going to add a few more. Let me see. I got my sample card over here. Okay. Just looking at where I placed these dimensionals. I'm going to add them kind of like towards the bottom of this bowl. Okay, so we're done with that. And then we're going to take the greeting and we're going to place that right there. Now we're almost done. We just got to put some embellishments. Now on this one, I didn't use any Wink of Stella on it. So this one, I'm going to use the Lemon Lolly sequins. So we'll add a larger one up there and then use two smaller ones here and then right here. Wow. Seems like this is a long video. It is a long video. It's almost 2 hours long. Okay, but we are done. So so there is the third card. So this one had a little more to it with the coloring and then piecing everything together. And we even did some heat embossing and die cutting. So let me bring in the other two cards. So we did this one here, kind of like a fun fold, kind of like a simple birthday card, something that you could mass produce with in no time at all. And then here's our little special one that can be a little card, or it can be a tag, for a gift bag or for something. And then inside, you can write a little something or stamp a little something in there. And if you wanted to use this as a tag, you just would use a hole punch right there at the top and then add your twine or your ribbon or whatever to it. So there are our three projects. So if you like the projects that I made tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It has been helping me tremendously in growing my YouTube channel. Um, I've actually, when I start to think about, I started doing pre-recorded videos. I think it was like September 26th. And so, yeah, so I'm coming up not too long now to 1 year since I started doing the videos. Now, the lives, I started doing those near the end of January. And I've just been, keeping up with the Christmas card inspiration, the paper pumpkins, the holidays, the throwback Thursdays, and now like the Friday night live. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. Again, if you would like the card kit for these projects, I will send it to you free. Now, mind you, I cannot do any of the stamping. So if you want to make these exactly how I did it, you would need the stamp set and the coordinating set of dies. Uh, Dies like this piece here and this one here, I will go ahead and I will die cut those for you, but I'll also include the embellishments and all that. So you would need the stamp set and you would need the set of dies to complete this. Like I said, everything else I will send to you. And in addition to that, other than a thank you card, also this month with any orders, I'm also going to include a lemon scissor fob. I am doing my Mediterranean Blooms in-person class tomorrow. So I try to get charms that will kind of tie into whatever my class is, or maybe like the season or the holiday or whatever. So I have a lot of cute fall ones. And I am doing one. If you watched the video last Friday near the end, I did, like I said, I showed you all of my pre-order stuff. And there was a bundle that's in here that I am so definitely going to do an in-person class on this. Plus, I'm going to definitely use it for a Friday night live, and that's the More Than Autumn bundle. If you know me, I love, love, love pretty much anything that's pumpkin spice. So you got your pumpkin pie. You can make this as your pumpkin spice. So you got all these phrases like pumpkin season, fall, apple, donuts, autumn, eggnog, hot cocoa, peppermint, cider, pie, and spice. So you got all these images, and then you have the dies that will die cut all of the words as well, along with the images. So this is going to be a fun set to play with. So I'm just waiting a little bit, kind of like starting September, I can get into doing all the fall stuff. Now, we don't have a lot as far as fall goes in what's in the new catalog, especially when it comes to Halloween. Really, there's a bundle and kind of like a stamp set, and that's pretty much all we got for Halloween. So my Halloween videos, there's not going to be a whole lot of them, and I'm not going to do as many as I did last year because, you can only do so much with basic black, lemon lime twist, or it was what is that? Parakeet party and pumpkin pie and gorgeous grape. You can only use that so much before you get to the point, okay, I'm done using those colors. So with that, I am going to get off of here because we have now hit the 2 hour mark and we are done. So everybody, Stay safe. Have a great weekend. If you're in areas where it is extremely hot, stay cool, stay hydrated. And if you are living in an area where it's nice and cool and comfortable and you're starting to feel fall and all that, I envy you because that's the one thing I miss from living up north is already experiencing fall and all that because that is my favorite season. And again, today, pay homage to Elvis. Today, what marks 47 years that he passed away. So, kind of a somber day. So, everyone, have a blessed one, and I will see you next Friday. Bye bye.